we towed it over here, and as I say, had it for 40 years. And obviously we don't do a lot to the inside, but it's in a decent condition. You know, most things are intact. So what we've got down there is a camera. What you'd normally have down there would be a visual bomb aiming position,
right.
Which was used more in the early days of the Vulcan, because it's got equipped up here. You've got a if I can turn this on. Somebody's learned how to fix the seat. So up there you've got, that's the radar navigator's position, and now as you can see they've got radar which enables them to see the ground. So there, and there is something called a navigation and bombing system, which was very advanced for the time. It's all
Right, we're at Midland Air Museum. I'm not going, probably I'll be filming, but I'm not going to be reading everything out on there like Bob Earnshaw would, or others. Other YouTubers do exist. So, here we go. Mm-hmm.
738. The worst was the tight financial
Our
situation.
jet engine works.
Our financial backers began to get cold feet. They had, quite unrealistically,
A Meteor F940. th anniversary of Admiral Lancaster active service 1942.
okay.
Canberra B2T17 WH646. I can't go in, but you can. Hello, Mr. Pilot. How are you doing? Oh, so he's got a passenger. Concorde. An Harrier jump jet cockpit. An Harrier jump jet cockpit. Ejector seat. Do not pull handle. A helicopter. Meter F8 tail fin from aircraft WF646. A helicopter. FJX2 turbofan engine. Oh, that's that. And this looking plane here is a Chichester Mouse Leopard. This is a Flettner F128 Collaborate Hummingbird. US Air Force. Lockheed T-33. Ooh, there's a light flashing in here. Armstrong said the single Mamba. Turbo Union RB199 engine. Some model boats. Diabland DH100 Vampire FI. The history of aviation in Coventry. It's bloody warm in here. An Umber engine. Croydon Aerodrome, circa 1932. Oh, the Battle of something or other. Oh, sorry. Great War Centenary, 1914 to 1918. Oh, look who's down there. I can see you. I can see you. Our friends Bob and Jenny like this, as would our friends Smithy and Barbara. Ooh, an aeroplane wing. I know, some engines. And it didn't do anything. I said something about closed doors or something. Ah, right. Well done, Sharon.
You know I always fiddle with things.
B-17 Flying Fortress instrument panel. Exterior of a rear gun turret of a Whitley. Looks like it's had a bit of a battering. Well shot up that. Yep, she's pressing buttons again, I bet it.
Well,
Her lights,
just lights everything up.
her lights come on, Shaz.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's all your controls. Calculator. Not as exciting as the other one.
No. Did we
Just
come?
like
Did we come that way? I came that. Did we? We came in that way, did we? No, I didn't. Well, this one's doing something.
Well, it must be a sensor.
Mm. Elvis activity. Bristol Vibro at 600 turbo jet. Sapphire significant. Armstrong Siddeley Sapphire jet engine. Civil aviation. British Airways jumbo jet. Royal Air Force Air Sport Command. Rolls-Royce Giffen engine was fitted in a Shackleton Spitfire. Beware of blast. Have you ever wondered what's up here? Me too. Big hole. A parachute. Look, it's full of holes. Oh, some missiles. Furley Fireflash Blue Sky. Red top. Length 3.27 meters. Span 0.908 meters. Diameter 0.222 meters. Type air-to-air missile. Warhead 31 kilograms. High explosive. Guidance infrared seeking. Range 12 kilometers. Vulcan bomber. XL363, I think it is. It's XL36 something, somebody's put something over it. Oh, 360. XL360. Smithy, this is for you. Yeah, can I fetch my camera?
Oh yeah, certainly can.
Because my friend's into Vulcans. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this one's been here since 1983. Got flown into the
Oh, I've dropped my hat.
flown into the airport.
Remind me to pick that up.
And we've had it ever since then. I mean,
Just put the microphone near you and then because otherwise
the RAF left it here for a little while just to so they could make the ejector seats safe. And then we towed it over here, and as I say, had it for 40 years. And obviously we don't do a lot to the inside, but it's in a decent condition. You know, most things are intact. So what we've got down there is a camera. What you'd normally have down there would be a visual bomb aiming position, which was used more in the early days of the Vulcan, because it's got equipped up here. You've got a I can turn the seat. Somebody's learned how to fix the seat. So up there you've got, that's the radar navigator's position, and there, as you can see, they've got radar which enables them to see the ground. So there, and there is something called a navigation and bombing system, which was very advanced for the time. It's all analog, and a lot of it's mechanical, but it does enable coordination of the navigation and the bombing system to enable the best accuracy for dropping the bombs. So it was a very advanced weapon for its time.
Yeah, and it could do a lot of distance, if I remember rightly.
Yes, I mean they flew to the Falklands refueled. And refueling was something that had disappeared a long time before the Falklands conflict. So in the sort of, it was a nuclear bomber up until the Polaris fleet took over, so end of the 60s, early 70s, and this one was nuclear equipped, with the blue steel missile that you can see underneath. So it would carry one of those underneath, so sort of semi-recessed with a fin folded, and then when that was launched, it could do somewhere between 50 and 150 miles at close to twice the speed of sound. So your target would be a lot. You wouldn't actually be as close to the target when the explosion happens, which is a lot better way of doing it. Because the Vulcans obviously were originally intended to be high-level bombers. They'd be flying up to 60,000 feet, and so out of the range of a blast. But then things changed in the 60s, because the quality of weapons, what could be achieved by missiles and planes, was improved so much that no longer could the Vulcan be safe by flying at height and at the speeds that it could, which was still subsonic. So then they went to low level, and it was only the Vulcan that really survived that transition. The Valiants came out of service very quickly, and the Vulcans, the Victors, got switched to the tanker role.
Well, thank you, Matt, for that.
All right, thank you very much.
And we'll go and continue to look round the grounds.
Let's say if you want to have a closer look at the back panel there. We've got the three positions. I mentioned the radar navigator on the starboard side. In the middle, it's the plotting navigator, who is
For the quote.
who's got the maps. Essentially gets you to the target. And then on the port side is the air electronics officer. So in the sort of the olden days in the war, there'd be a radio operator and an engineer, and he sort of took over those two jobs. And as well as that, as the sort of Vulcan progressed in its career, they'd be responsible for jamming, because the Vulcan didn't have any defensive weapons. It was its height and speed. But later on, as that became compromised, they then started being fitted. The Mark II versions of the Vulcans were fitted with jamming equipment in the tail and a radar in the tail, so that they could sort of try and distract attacks from anybody. So there was sort of infrared flares, there was chaff, which are little bits of metal that will disturb radar, and obviously there are electronic signals that can be sent back to interfere with the radar and how it would perceive threats like this.
Excellent.
And then if you want to have a look up the
Well, I might climb up there.
just be careful, there are handles on both sides. I'll stand over the big hole in the floor. As you can see, it's captain on the left, co-pilot on the right.
Oh, that's surprising. They've got joysticks rather than yokes.
That was something that was decided at a very early stage by the test pilot, Roland Falk, who knew it would be a very controllable aeroplane and would be good to fly, and so he made that a preference. And that's unique amongst the three V bombers. and it's always described as being a good aeroplane to fly and very manoeuvrable. And you see that when you used to see them display.
Yeah.
You see what they could do. Planes of this size wouldn't normally be able to.
No. Right. Thank you to Matt. Thank you to Matt for showing us around in there. I was saying to Matt, the one at Silleth, it's better because it stands on its own and you can get all around it, whereas this one's had its glory taken away by all the others around it. The overnight delivery system. I wonder what we'll find in here. I get a... Oh. Yeah. Oh, look what I found. I found a sheriff.
I'm staying in here, it's cool.
It was nice. It was nice and colour there. Mike had a fan going. So this aeroplane is carrying tables. Must be going to some event. Reusable containers. And a spare engine. What more does one want? And then it's broke. Oh, I see. That's the cockpit, and that goes out so they can load stuff into it. Then it comes back together and all clumps together. Clever. Right, up this ladder, but we can't go up there, so yeah, so nice little yellow aeroplane. Ooh. Dear, oh dear. Yeah, you'd have been better sat over there on shade as in the tin can. The Avalon 125 Bristol Siddeley Viper engines. Looks like a private aircraft. Oh, an Harrier jump jet. Won the Falklands for us then. That's the one we've just been in. See that you can see how its nose is opening up there, and that's where they put the cargo in. It's got some big propeller engines. This is Squadron Leader S. Eastwood flew this one. Hawker Hunter F6A, UK circa 1950. Gloucester Javelin FAW5. Armstrong Whitworth Hawker Seahawk. All they launched off the launched off the ships, you know, aircraft carriers, and that's a Sea Harrier. The Avalon Sea Vixen. I've seen this thing before somewhere. Oh, at Solway, I think. And this looks like a MiG. I could be totally mistaken. How is it? God. Yeah. Tornado, that's it. This is a Tornado. This made they be really upset that I got that wrong. He'll have been shouted at the screen. Tornado, you daft sod. Twin prop. I think they've spun in different directions if I remember rightly. A fairy gannet. Lockheed Starfighter. It's had missiles on its wings. It's an helicopter, by the way, and a machine gun. ILMI 24D HIND. Micron Goofich MiG-21. North American FA-86A Sabre. McDonnell Phantom F4C 1958. Sorry I'm rushing this a bit, I'm worried that my battery's going to go. Royal Canadian Air Force. McDonnell Voodoo Trainer Fighter. Vickers Viscount V708 Medium Range Airliner. TS-11 Iskra 408. A helicopter. Folland Nat. Right, we don't know what this one is, only it's a Dunlop Aviation Division because its paperwork's all gone off. Oh, it's a De Havilland Dove 2. And now we've got a Percival Prentice circa 1948 and a Lockheed T-33 Shooting Star along with a Land Rover over there. This is a North American F-100 D16N8 Super Sabre, a De Havilland DHC-2 Beaver, and an American truck. And there's a man there committed suicide. English Electric Lightning. Ooh, I remember them. Dassault Mystery 5. English Electric Camper PR3.